All right, all right, all right. What's up, y'all? It is Dr. Cherry from the Life Money Balance podcast. We are kicking off the inaugural To Be Real episode of the live stream. I told you I was going to do this, and people have been waiting on it for a very long time. And I almost didn't come on the show tonight. It's going to be happening at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, every Sunday for an hour. This gives me the platform to shake off my wings a little bit and be a bit more edgy, a little bit more freer. For those that know me, know that I can be real all the time, right? And one of the reasons why I didn't want to come on tonight is I'm sicker than shit, and I really do have a cold. My throat is hurting really bad. I have pressure in my nose. So if I sound funny, then that's the reason why. And also, too, I really wanted to come out real fresh with all the bells and whistles that I have on the show. But I barely cry out a big. You can probably hear my child. He's 8 months old now. His name is Lath, and my wife are downstairs, and we are all the whole house is sick, and we just got back from overseas, and we were over there, and we were had a great time, and now we're back and trying to recover from a jet lag and having a cold and everything like that. So it's been rough, but it's been great at the same time. I mean, the new year kicked off. It's 2025. We have overall health, although everyone has a cold and all that. Baby boy has a ear infection, so we've been dealing with that. So there's a lot that we have dealing right now, and that's why I really didn't almost come on the show. I was like, the hell with it. I'll be on tomorrow or next week. But what I wanted to establish in 2025 is we're gonna be up in this thing. All right, every damn Sunday, kicking it off, talking about real stuff. Now, this is what you can expect from the podcast. This version or segment is part of the Life Money Balance podcast. So you need to tune in, subscribe, do all those, share, like, comment, all that type of stuff when you're talking about the Life Money Balance podcast. And this To Be Real segment, the live stream, is part of the podcast. Now, you will still continue to receive the weekly recorded podcast from Life Money Balance when you're talking the feelings and finances of money, life and money. We'll be talking about financial psychology, financial therapy, all these life terms, feelings terms, about money, how we feel about it. That's why the book dropped, y'all. Wealth and the Key of Life. Go grab that, John. Go grab that, John. Remember, I think it was Rocky 7 now with Michael B. Jordan, the John from Philly, right? That John. Go get that John, right? It dropped on December 24th, Wealth and the Key of Life. And it talks about both wealth and well-being, bridging feelings and finances to help you flourish. And this is what the Life Money Balance podcast is all about. We talk about how feelings are the line items in your finances all the time, past, present, and future. Our mindset, our hearts, our values, our attitudes towards money, all of that, our relationships is in our money. Tap into your stories, tap into your money. And then you have the hard finance and facts and figures of your money. And it's all the financial planning aspects, whether it be investments, tax, retirement, estate planning, cash management, insurances, risk management, business ownership, all of those strategies that produce the outcomes of your money. Put that together, and that helps you flourish in life. That's Life Money Balance, bridging wealth and well-being. And then you'll get those every week, and you'll still continue to get. We've had some fire episodes in 2024. I need y'all to share this show right now. We got about 550 subscribers, and y'all probably, hell, it's about 550. I said, listen, we had about 100 this summer, and we had an episode that went viral finally after a couple of years of the show. Now we're at that episode went 12,000. All right. Quite frankly, that this show should be 10 times what it is as far as subscribers. It should have 50,000 subscribers. One of the things that people talk about most about their advisors or where they get their information information on social media and their advisors is they can't trust nobody. Well, look, what are we talking about? All right. I've been a wealth advisor or around the space some sort of way for 18 years now. All right. I got an own firm, Concurrent Wealth Management. All right. I'm a professor at a university, PhD in financial planning. You see me. All you got to do is look a brother up. All right. Oh, I'm in the media, all of this. Right. I'm a registered advisor, all of this. So I'm not hard to find. And so when you're talking about trusting your resources and getting your information and also being entertaining too, uh, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You need to be tuning in to the Life Money Balance podcast, getting the newsletter, all this free game. And then when you decide to want to get an advisor, a wealth advisor, then you need to come over to Concurrent Wealth Management. Okay. So you'll continue to get the show or the podcast and the blog and all that every week. It's going to drop. Okay. And then this show is going to be about that hotness. You can already see the tone of my voice. All right. It's going to be so hot that I came on here as a half sick person. No, not half sick, fully sick. Okay. I may not look it. I'm pretty sounding, but I'm sick. I'm sick of this shit, and I'm on here because I want to be with y'all all the time. And if y'all want me to talk about something, then I want y'all to email me, comment in the sections, all of that. All right. I want you to do all of that so I can talk about what you want me to talk about, but I'm also going to bring what I want to talk about. Here's going to be the dialogue of the show every week. All right. And I'm going to be looking. This is why this is going to be a live show. I'm going to be looking this way, looking that way. All right. Because I'm going to be looking at facts and figures and the like. All right. So I came up with the show structure. So here's why you need to be tuning in every week for about 60 minutes. We're gonna go hard in the paint. I may have a guest every now and again chime in. I may have my pops on the show, something like that. But we're gonna go with a trending financial topic. All right, whatever's in the news right now, we're gonna chop that up. And right now, I saw one that I want to chop up real quick, and we're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna talk about something that social culture. I saw something today that kind of pissed me off, and I'm I want to talk about that. And also too, as far as social culture is concerned, we need to have something serious too, right? We're always, we're gonna laugh, smile, cry, chop it up, be angry, be realistic, be a whole bunch of stuff on the show. What we're not gonna do, all right? This is what we're not gonna do. We're not gonna be misinformed on the show. We're not gonna do misinformation. We're not gonna do propaganda. We're not gonna do hate. We're not gonna do oppression. We're not going to do all that. But we are going to talk. We are going to talk about some real talk. Okay. We're also going to have we're going to have entertaining. We're going to laugh. So we're going to have the spectrum of emotion. So that trending financial topic, number one. Then we're going to have social culture, whatever that topic is going to be. Then we're going to have money in music and movies. Meaning, if you've ever been sitting around and you've been watching a movie or something, or you heard a lyric in a song, whatever genre it is. That's why I got these records up here, right? Because I love music. And you hear a lyric, or you see a scene in a movie or a TV show, and it has a money implication to it. I always say all the time that, and I get a little pushback on this all the time because people are always talking about money is a tool to help you with life. It's not the goal, and I call bullshit on that. Because I call money as a partner. It has a soul because we exchange ourselves every day with toil and work for our dollars in order to place into our purpose. And if you do the purpose, it's an order of operations. And we'll do a whole nother show about this. Matter of fact, I'll do an LMB show about it, about the book, because the book, this is all chopped up in the Wealth and the Key of Life. All right. If you do the work and establish your purpose and what you want out of life and do the inner work, then you can use your money as a partner in order to buy more units of what you value most. All right. That's why money can buy happiness. I'll get onto all that later. All right. But the point of the matter is that money is just not a tool. I hate the word just. There was a scene, and here goes a scene right here. I'm about to walk into it. This is what I'm talking about. It's just off the dome. Right. I was watching this movie, Mystic River, with Sean Penn, and I forgot who else was in that movie, right? There's a couple of people in that movie, but anyway, they talked about somebody said, "You seen Ray lately?" And he said, you talking about Just Ray? He said, yeah, Just Ray. And he said, yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. He said, well, hold on. I've been meaning to ask y'all, why y'all call him Just Ray? And he said, well, uh, all the Rays were taken. Lil Ray, Big Ray, all the Rays were taken. So we just called Ray, Just Ray. Who the hell wants to be called Just, right? You talk about Just Ray, right? So just is a discounter, right? It devalues the purpose, right? It makes it more just ordinary. And money's not ordinary. It changes lives, changes generations. We have to make more income to buy more assets in order to, create more wealth in order to invest in the things that we value most. Okay, time, experiences, even things. All right, all a whole bunch of stuff. Right. Again, cop the book. I go hard in the book about this. All right, but just like I said about about the movie. So that's the third part of the podcast. So first one is trending topic. The second one is social culture. The third one is movies and money, or money and movies and music. Okay, I just came off the dome with one of them. And then another one is we're going to talk about an investing chart, or a chart, or just an investing topic. I got one today. I'm sipping on this Alka-Seltzer right here to help me feel better. They got these little tabs. I don't know if y'all are hip on these, but they got these little Alka-Seltzer tabs that you put in the water, and they get you right. So yeah, they're cold and cough. So shout out to Alka-Seltzer. They didn't even pay me to do that. They need to be paying me to do that. All right. So this is that what you can expect every Sunday to be real. Follow me on all the Dr. Preston Cherry is the social handles. Life Money Balance podcast is the podcast. To be real every Sunday, episodes every week. As far as the feelings of finance, this is the live stream. Here it is. We're gonna kick it off, right? And send an email out to hello at or contact at Life Money Balance Podcast. You want to hear a topic, or just comment. Comment on the YouTube channel, right? Shout out to me on my socials and say Dr. Cherry, chop this up for us. All right. So yeah, reach out to me. When we gonna make it pop. Nothing's out of bounds. Nothing's out of bounds. Because what I'm really sick of, I'm sick of people just, well, there's another thing we're not going to do. We're just not going to just be saying hot takes and shit like that just to be hot takes. I mean, folks are just saying, creating stupid ass hooks and being negative all the time in order to generate clickbait and all this other stuff. Now we're gonna get your attention, but at the same time, that's not what it's all about. It's about getting your attention, but we want to make impact on lives. We're trying to help you transform and be on the journey together. This is not a game, Life is not a game, although the game, the board game life goes off the chain, right? Monopoly and all that type of stuff. But life in itself is not a game. Money is not a game. Misinformation is not a game. Okay, propaganda is not a game. Uh, yes, many folks have businesses. There's transactions in the world. At the end of the day, I would love for folks to, be clients of Concurrent Wealth Management. Jump on over to the page and all that. Yeah, that's evident. All right, but I want you to remember this about Dr. Preston Cherry is that my mission in life is to, and it's been like that for the last 20 years since I adopted personal finance as, my profession. And I was blessed to be into this, this profession. It's to advance the human condition through financial advice and education through multiple mediums. And so, with that, I also remember what my dad told me a couple, 2 or 3 times in life was that, he said, son, people are waiting on you. They're waiting on you. You just gotta come out and do you. Right. And so this is what I'm doing. And 2025 is even more so. I'm coming out to offset some of the noise out there, and also just not even worry about what other folks are doing. It's just to set precedent out there, have a good time, like a laugh, smile, cry, all this. and also impact with the ultimate goal of impacting lives so people can we want our wealth journey, you know, to to build wealth and well-being, to build, be abundant, uh, flourish in life, be able to handle adjustments, be able to pivot, be able to roll and adapt, be able to handle challenging points in life. We'll talk about that too, because not all not, shit ain't rosy all the damn time. I say all the time that there's real life and then there's real life and there's real life. All right. When I say real life, there's REEL. All these damn reels out here. Everybody smiling, thinking like they're joking around, twerking and fucking dancing all the time and doing all this other stuff and everything like that. That's okay. Even posting pictures. I post pictures of my family and all that type of stuff, but that ain't every damn day. All right. That's called toxic happiness. All right. Now you don't have to then when you're having it good in life and you're having, healthy and happy times, you don't have to work for the other shoe to drop. You don't have to live life like that. But then there's real life, things that are going on every day. All right. And there's a way of going about life sometimes that'll help you through the challenging days that are not super challenging. It's just you have to have some resilience through the day. And sometimes being 6 feet on, 6 feet above, and 2 feet on is the way to go. And sometimes making it through that day is just making it through the day. And that's the accomplishment. All right. And where are the reels about that? All right. Because I promise you today, I'm not even looking at my best today. All right. My beard game ain't even right. Usually I edge my shit up. All right. So I'm looking a little scruffy. I sound stuffed up and everything like that. I don't even know how I look. I'm not even looking at myself. Right. But I'm still coming to you to speak with you, on life's journey to kick it off. Right. So this is what life is all about. Life and money, it's a journey, and there's reward days and there's award days. All right, and the award days are those celebratory days that we all have. All right, you get a new house, a new car, you uh, scale a mountain and get to the top. All right, I'm talking about a physical mountain, or you go hiking and you get to the top, or something like that, or I don't know, you whatever you take I said sabbatical is a new thing right now. Whatever that award is that day. I got a distinguished alumni award earlier this year. Okay, that's an award. All right, that's a moment in time. It's kind of like a balance sheet. That's an award. But the reward is the journey, and that's the everyday. All right, we have to find some sort of gratitude and joy in the reward days. And those are the everydays. And some of those are not all hunky dory, don't feel good, but it is part of the journey. It is part of the journey. All right. And gratitude comes in a lot of play by just getting through the day. Right now, I'm going to ask for your grace. And I'm asking grace for myself to say, you know what? And I came on here and I'm telling you, the show, I hope the show is fire right now. And we got some more to chop up here in a minute. And the show's going to be even more fire. I'm already bringing some real gems right now. I come out the gate letting you know what's up. But I also said, I'm a perfectionist. I like things on point. Pop, 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 But, you know, today is getting through the show. So we can get to the next show. And we can chop it up some more. Right? And that's what it's all about, and being real and to be real. And one of the things about the show, about the title of the show, "To Be Real," I kind of got the idea from Charles Barkley. For y'all folks, he's all over, the Instagrams and all that type of stuff. Charles Barkley, people forget he used to be a ball player, right? But he always starts off stuff when he's about to go on a rant. He always starts off with stuff. Well, to be honest with you, he starts off like that, right? And I was like, you know what, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna use that and do a little slant off that and be in touch. Yeah. To be real with you, let's get into it, right? Let's be real. To be real about it, it is about old Living Color saying. Remember the skit show, Wayans Brothers, right? You want to hear it? Here it go. And this is what we're about to do. All right. And the reason why I didn't want to use, to be honest with you, because I was in therapy one time years ago, and I had a doctor tell me, he was like, Preston, if you keep saying to to be honest with you, you start your sentences with, to be honest with you, I'm going to be thinking you lying all the damn time. Are you always telling me the truth? I'm going to be doubting what you're saying. I know you have some shame and guilt to what you're about to say, or you're trying to move past some few things, but don't ever say that to me again. Don't ever say, to be honest with you, in our discussions. This is what I was talking to my therapist, and he was right. He was right. I've cut that out of my dialogue, to be honest with you, that because it's kind of like saying, no disrespect. As soon as you no disrespect, disrespect always follows that shit, right? So some disrespect is coming after that line, right? Oh man. All right. So this is what's up. I'm glad we got this far, and we got to chop it up a little bit. I hope it sets the tone about what's going to be going on with the show. And let me kick it off with. So we got the four topics, right? Trending topic, trending financial topic, social and culture, money and movies and music, and investing chart. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get into it with the trending financial topic. I'm gonna wipe my nose and everything on here, y'all, because this is what we do. Uh, so this is how new and in the moment we are. Let's see, President Biden just signed the Social Security. Let me see, the Social Security Act. What's it called here? Yeah. So this act, this Social Security Act here. Let me Google this real quick. Social Security Fairness Act. There we go. Social Security Fairness Act, which gets rid of the this is for the public workers, but it gets rid of the windfall provision, elimination provision for public workers. So the WEP, and also the government pension offset, GPO. So what does this mean? I told you I'm sick, y'all. I'm sniffling and everything. So what does this mean? Well, there used to be a provision that for folks in the public sector, they get a pension for working in the government sector, and they also earned some Social Security at some point. And because they worked in the public sector and earned this pension, it would reduce it would reduce their Social Security benefits. And so this provision has been proposed in both chambers of the House or both chambers for a very long time, and getting bipartisan support, more and more bipartisan support over the years. And now it has been signed into law, got the votes, and signed by the president as he leaves office. So this is helpful for those that are in public sector jobs, firefighters, police officers, teachers, and other public sector workers, who receive pension income. All right, and it removes the reduction of the Social Security that they're going to earn or due to them in their retirement years in their 60s when they start qualifying. So that's a pretty good legislation, and this is what we're talking about what how policy affects lives. All right, politics. There's a lot of pandering in politics. We just had the election, and there's a lot of pandering and propaganda. All right, there's a lot of misinformation. All right, we have a misinformed public. All right, there's a lot of shucking and jiving going on both sides, but sometimes more than the other. All right, but the point about it is once you get rid of the noise, that's what we're talking about. We're not going to be talking about misinformation on the show. We're going to talk about how policy affects people. All right, tax policy is coming up soon. This is Social Security policy. All right, policy affects the people, and this is why it's very responsible. When I was talking about earlier on the show, that life and money is not a game, and neither should government or folks that are responsible for the livelihood of others. All right, even corporations that are wage increases and all this other stuff. There's a lot of public good that we're all individually responsible for, that we can that we're responsible for. All right, um, and how we carry that out not only affects our household but others. Okay, so we all need to be mindful about our choices and how it affects our household and the livelihood of others, and particularly policy at a large scale. And this one right here is going to affect about 3 million job holders in the public sector and increase their Social Security. Now, the pushback on this is that the Social Security system is already stressed, and this may expedite the stressors on the system and cause it to quote unquote run out of money quicker. All right. That said, uh, this will hopefully kick off some good legislation. And Social Security has been revisited a few times since around 1980, and so there's been a few tweaks in the system in order to shore it up along the way. So I believe that Social Security will receive some tweaks along the way in order to tighten it up a little bit, and hopefully it's some good legislation that benefits the greater good. But I want to say something about misinformation out there about Social Security running out. Right, uh, the trust fund is running out, meaning there's a surplus of Social Security to where Social Security is a pay in, pay out system. It's pay as you go. People are working and paying in, and then people are retired and they're taken out. All right, so pay in and pay as you go system. And then there's been a surplus of payments over the years, of which when there is a shortfall of the pay in, pay out, then the trust fund makes up the gap. All right. That surplus is projected to run out in about 2035. Not necessarily the system is going away. So I know that scares people, but that's a lot of fear mongering. What would happen in 2035, somewhere around here, is that the surplus is projected to go away. And uh, if nothing is done, then folks would receive anywhere between 60 and 83%, 85% of their Social Security benefit. So it's not that Social Security won't be around. All right. Currently, as it stands, if there's no policy implement or interjection, then there may be a shortfall in payment. All right. So that's what that means about running out. It means the surplus is running out, but the system itself is pay in, pay out, pay as you go. Okay. So there's a little tidbit, right? Because that affects a lot of retirements, whether you are high income, high asset, or folks that just want to depend on Social Security. Uh, that then there's a little information right there. So shout out to the folks that are in the public sector. You just got a little windfall, even though it eliminated the windfall elimination provision, but you did get a little windfall there. I love a good pun. All right. So that is the trending financial topic, and we got a little education on the Social Security system, and hopefully we see some good Social Security policy come through for the greater good. All right, social culture. Let's chop it up about that. Uh, there's some, and since we're talking about Social Security, the word entitlement came to play, and this is another topic that the word entitlement gets a bad rap sometimes because folks misuse the word. We're talking about propaganda, right? Like all these entitlements, well, oh man, just so in the world of marketing, there's marketing and politics as well in order to skew people's minds. Okay, um, and words are coming out that, for instance, like in estate planning, right? There was a there's a what was the tax? I believe it was there's an estate planning tax to where when you pass away, then you owe a state tax. It's a state tax on your estate, and that's why, excuse me, uh, there is a there is a oh, come on now, Preston, off the top of my head, there is a there's a number, there's a dollar amount that if your estate is up to a particular dollar amount, I believe it's 14.5 million, something right now, then you don't have to pay tax on that particular estate. All right. And it's 28 million if you're married. All right. So but for folks that have large estates, the state tax really affects folks. But the state tax only affects about 1 or 2% of folks in the U.S. All right, so uh, my point about it is that the estate tax, right? When you talk about tax policy for just 1 or 2% of the country, it was labeled a death tax years ago, about a couple, 2, 3 decades ago. People were like, "Oh, do you want to pay, do you want to pay a death tax?" All right, it is essentially a state tax. Okay, no, it is, but they call it a death tax in order to sway votes. All right, but that was a marketing ploy in order to sway votes, right? Uh, but again, that this type of policy didn't even affect the large portion of the country. For those folks that I do planning for the for the mass affluent all the way up into the ultra wealthy. And let me tell you, there's ways. First of all, 28 million is nothing to sneeze at. And then even when you get up to 100 million, 50 million, 100 million, there's still ways and resources in order to reduce your tax rate down to an efficient, effective tax rate over multiple generations. But my point about it is that um, with the word uh, the word entitlement has taken on this different meaning, as though everyone is entitled to all these free stuff. As some of this stuff wasn't worked for. I'm about to go into a pun here, which is Social Security. All right, it's an entitlement program. Well, if you worked, all right, for your if you worked and you incurred a payroll tax, all right, then yes, you are entitled to your money for Social Security, right? And so, yes, it's an entitlement program, but you worked for it, you paid your payroll tax inside of it, right? So, where am I getting at with social culture? Uh, what the other side of entitlement is just thinking that you're owed something, uh, and you haven't done any particular work for it, you haven't earned for it. And one of these things is with young people. And young people, hey, listen, I love you to death because I'm a professor, and look, I teach young people all the time. But well, a trend that I'm seeing, and I was in Target just the other day. No, I was in Target the other day, and I was in Walmart today because I was getting some stuff for the kid. And there's a trend of teenage boys riding the elderly carts around the store and filming it for Instagram and stuff like that. Y'all seen this? Right? 3 and 4 grown ass kids, 13, 14, 15 years old. All right. Riding these carts around that are for the elderly and for the disabled. Y'all seen this? This is crazy. All right. And this is the other side of entitlement. All right. These young folks haven't been I know that didn't work at our house when I was a child. We didn't, we weren't playing around in the store like that, because we got charged up at the crib. All right. And we damn sure wasn't doing stuff to take resources from the elderly and the disabled. All right. And what's happening a little bit too, and well, this is the social and culture topic here, is that some young folks, not all, some young folks are growing up entitled to because they've never been told no, or that's not right, or you need to be doing something different, or something that's the parents' fault. And so when we're talking about, and I see this a lot when we're talking about jobs and your first careers and how folks are trying to invest into you and all this other stuff, and just people in general, it's just social is just getting rude. People are entitled to space. You know, if I'm in the grocery store, people are coming up and they're, you know, I was in the I guess the soup aisle today, and there's a lost art called "Excuse Me." It's like, hey, excuse me. And then people don't say that anymore, right? So folks become entitled, and then it goes into many aspects of life, right? And it goes over into money, all right? How you would go up about earning money, how we go about what our mindsets are about life and money. If we have this false sense of entitlement. Now, if you're owed something, let me be clear: if you're owed something, collect that shit. All right, because you're owed something. That's not, yeah, you're entitled to what you're owed, but you're not entitled for something that you don't, that you're either being selfish for, or you have, there's no justification for it. And there's no justification for teenage boys to be riding on these damn scooters for the disabled and the elderly in the middle of these damn stores. All right. It's ridiculous. All right. So all right. So let's go into money and music, y'all, and movies. I I was watching I was reading this, one of my favorite authors. Yeah, I'm wiping my nose. If you're just now getting in here, I'm sicker of hell right now. And so this is the first show, and I wanted to keep my promise to say I was going to do this every Sunday, and we're gonna keep it real. So the third segment is money and music, and money and music and movies. And what was I was reading a book. Yeah, I read. By the way, I got a book, Wealth and the Key of Life. Go on to my personal webpage, drprestoncherry.com, and order it. It's available on Amazon, Books a Million, and Barnes and Noble, and also Kindle. And there will be an audio version out very soon. All right. So I was reading John Grisham, and he's one of my favorite leisure authors. I mean, he's not going to win a Pulitzer or anything, but I got a lot of people on my shelf and for serious books and all this other stuff. But hey, for leisure, I like me a good John Grisham book. And I was reading this book, and there was a scene in it, and it said, and although this is books, but movies and music, but this is a book. In John Grisham books, they turn into movies anyway, so here we are. I had a Landman, and we'll do that next week. But I had a Landman scene, and Landman is with Billy Bob Thornton. It's on Paramount. Uh, and being from Texas, I was born in Kansas City, but I was raised in Texas, Houston to be specific. I love a good oil story, oil. And Landman is off the chain. Plus, I love Billy Bob Thornton. It do it off the hook, some old Sling Blade dude, right? Anyway, there's a scene, and Mitch McDeere because it was the Firm 2. Remember the Firm with Tom Cruise? All right. Well, they got the second book out. All right. They got the second book out. Hopefully it becomes a movie. And Mitch was talking to one of his people that got caught up. And if you've seen The Firm, you know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the movie, people went to jail or died because they were running this scam. And then, Tom Cruise's character was calling it all out. And then he got this money, and they ended up taking it on a boat and scooting away and going away on the island with him and his wife and all this other stuff. And this book is supposed to catch up 25 years later, 20 years later, something like that. And Mitch is doing pretty good. He was having this conversation with one of the people that actually went to prison. And then his character, Tom's character, got all the money, and they went on these sabbaticals and went to Italy, hired a language consultant, hired a food director. They bought a house in Tuscany. They went, this was the second stop after the beaches and everything on the islands. All right. Then they ended up back in Manhattan, and Mitch McDeere is working at a law firm again. Right. So, and then and the dude sitting in front of him, because they stayed good friends over the years, he goes, "Yeah, you were doing this while I was in prison." What's my point? Well, you'll hear a lot about experiences. All right. And I talk a lot about experiences too in life and having purpose and intention. And we kicked off the show about talking about how money is more than just a tool, right? It's a partner. It has a soul. It's an essential part of our being. All right. Uh, Everything that we are, trying to actualize ourselves with or do in life requires some sort of investment. All right. First we have to have purpose. And if we're allowed to invest in our purpose, then it's a privilege. All right. There's different levels of experiences. There's different levels of our preferences. All right. And remember, I was talking about the movie, The Mystic River. Where just right. If we didn't have money, we couldn't invest in the things that we value most across our life cycles. And so, what did that scene mean in the book? Well, Tom Cruise's character, or Mitch McDear, uh, he was able to invest in these experiences. We all talk about experiences like, oh, okay, well, the person that values experiences, or value, or values time with family, values a whole bunch of aspects, right? I call them their well-being domains, mind you. All right. Um, these are the preferences in life, the level that you want to live them, and the life cycle that you're in. All right. And you have to have money to do it. Uh, the case in point, one dude was like, well, shit, you know, I was in prison, and then Mitch McDear's comment was, here's the comment. He said, all that matters is is health and family. That's facts. I mean, health and family. He can say that matter of factly. You can have health and family with or without money, but the level of which you achieve that health and well being is more is your privilege in order to, yeah, you can say that you work for it and all that type of stuff, but you acknowledge it. Be aware that uh, because a person, all of us, what is our preferred lifestyle now and later, and what amount of money is it going to take to purchase that well-being? And we got to go out and get it. It's got to be a partner. Got to be a partner with a purpose, a partner with a soul. All right. So when somebody says that's already attained the money, all right, it's very easy to say, well, yeah, life is all this is all that matters. Well, yeah, it matters because we have the I say weeks. I got a little chunk of change myself, and I'm trying to gain more to gain freedom, to true freedom. Right? Is we have to realize is that without it, there's a different level of freedom. You could be Mother Teresa, you could be MLK. All right, you could be. I share with people all the time. You know, you can achieve a level of happiness like time with your family in the park. I remember going to the park with my mom and dad and everything like that. Shit, that's damn near free. Taking gas and all that type of stuff, right? But if you want to go and Mitch Madeir's point, you want to go to Tuscany, you want to hire a language consultant, you want to have the chef stop by your Manhattan apartment and do all this type of stuff. What that take? Right? And even some of these quiet luxury mamma jammas out here, I don't believe in loud this or quiet this. Just be what you want to be. All right. You don't really owe an explanation to anybody. Right. But even if you have quote unquote quiet luxury, you still got luxury on. Shit. And the stuff that you got on costs money. I started this one speech I had, this keynote speech I had, and it pissed a lot of people off. And people left me some comments like, oh, I didn't understand. Yes, you did. You understood exactly what I said. All right. I walked on the stage and I said, I'm wearing $2,000 right now. And they were like, damn, that's bold, you know. But it's one of those, you got to get the audience's attention. But the point about it was I didn't scream a label or anything like that. If somebody wanted to scream a label, so what? But I wanted to make a point. For those folks that are saying, well, I value experiences, I value time with my family, I value this, all that, and, they're drum beaters and all that type of stuff. And listen, I'm telling you, I service the high net worth and the wealthy and all that too, along with the mass affluent. Okay, look, trust me. All right, all right. Yes, they value that, but trust me, things start adding up when even if you're trying to be quiet about it. All right, purple label shirt, button down, and maybe just a regular navy, but that Joan is like $600 or $500, right? Your jeans is $400. That's $900. Your frames, these frames right here, they 1,000, right? All right, your watch is $600-700 average. Probably $1,500, something like that. When it's quiet, woo, you know, you start adding all that up. I thought you didn't do no material stuff, right? My point is that money helps us. All right, you said people say it's a tool. No, it helps you, live your well-being. Wealth and well-being are partners. Okay, they're partners. So when folks say, even if it's in this particular scene in the book, it said, all that matters is is health and I forgot what the second one is health and family or something to this effect. Yeah, when the money is good, yeah, yeah, you can break it down like that, right? So just giving money its proper due, and giving people permission to say, hey, I need enough money in order to invest in my preferences in life, my preferences and purpose. I always say that this is the 5 point play. It's in the book, y'all. Come on now. All right. Purpose, preferences, uh, person, uh, plan, points in life. Then you got your prosperity. All right. All came from a scene in the book. I'm telling you, we're gonna chop it up by a whole bunch of scenes and movies and money. So that was this for the Firm Two. I forgot what the book is called. It's not called the Firm Two, but it's the latest John Grisham book. All right, let's go on the investing chart. I know I was kicking it off the show with what to expect, and we're gonna go longer on these segments a little bit in the next episodes. Okay. Uh, but something that chapped my hide is that I'm sick of hearing about, and this is an investing topic. We're gonna talk about an investing topic every show, and this is one of dividend investing, y'all. Okay, all right. I made a post on Twitter and LinkedIn and Threads. All right, I'm gonna be going more on Threads, y'all. I got Threads going on. All right, but I made this post about let's sing a song and here's the chorus. Dividends are part of total return. Dividends are part of total return. Dividends are part of total return. Yes, dividends are part of total return. My goodness. All right, they're nothing special. You either reinvest them for long term or you take them for income, whatever whatever your preference is right now, whatever your need is. All right. But when you reinvest totally, the S&P total return all day is over a 20-year period is kicking that ass, right? Because dividends go into total return. There's capital appreciation and total return, y'all. All right. Dividends are only special if you want some sort of income that to hit your mailbox. All right. So when you have the dividend investor or dividend channels and all this type of stuff, trying to make it all, something that what it's not, uh, you know, please just sidestep that. I told y'all what we're gonna do. We're gonna do real talk and not do misinformation. All right. Um, and really, here's a couple of stats, and I'll put them in a blog or something like that. Um, uh, now, what happens is when dividend folks start talking, all right, they'll compare the dividend yield index to maybe an S&P index, but they won't use the S&P total return index. All right, there's two different things because you're stripping out the reinvestment of dividends. No shit. All right. Well, when you use total return, capital appreciation, and dividends, well, guess what? All right. All right. The total return is gonna kick that ass. All right. Over a period of time. Over a period of time. Yeah, there's gonna be some years where, a dividend yield may outstrip a total return. But over a period of time, um, first of all, the S&P is full of growth stocks at the end of the day. Matter of fact, last year's 20, I think it was 23%. We were up in 2024. 50% of the return dominated by the top 8 or 9 stocks. Okay, they were mostly all growth stocks, all the ones you're familiar. You know, the Google, the Nvidia. Okay, all the tech growth stocks. Right. This is what we're talking about. All right, now a dividend, because they're kicking off some sort of predictable payout for for investors. You'll have a lower volatility, meaning they're not as up and downy. Okay, yes, I just made up that term, downy, right? So it's called volatility. That said, a little bit more risk, a little bit more reward in general. Um, so folks, depending on their risk tolerance, may say, hey, I don't want that much, jumping around a little bit. So I'll take the income of my mailbox. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, if that's what your risk profile is, that's cool, and that may not be your risk capacity, meaning what you should be taking in order to accomplish your goals. Two different things. We'll talk about that on another show. All right, but I just wanted to tell you, and I wish we had more time, about 15 minutes, to really dive into some of these statistics. All right, and sorry if my face is looking all jacked up and I'm wiping my nose on this thing, but I told you, commitment is where it's at. We're gonna do this thing every Sunday. All right. And and we're gonna do this thing every Sunday, and we're gonna keep it real, and we're gonna talk about what we need to talk about. And so just to close it out, this dividend and total return thing. All right. What I want you to leave with is don't be skewed by unreal talk about dividend yield, and dividend stocks are something special. They're only they're for those that they're just risk averse. They need to take income. This is not investment advice, y'all. I'm not going to say this every show because I got a disclosure on there, but it's education. All right, for your consideration. Um, they have lower volatility over time. They have, yes, they kick off a dividend, so they make them, their returns are more smoother over time. But again, dividends are inside of total return. Total return is capital appreciation and dividends. All right. So you're not missing out on anything if you don't go out and buy a dividend specific stock or a dividend specific, only ETF. All right. Or index fund. If you buy a S&P 500, ETF or index, or you're getting a total return, you are receiving a dividend. You're just getting it reinvested. Okay. So that's just a little thing that chapped my hide. I'm gonna do another show on that because, that really chaps my hide about how much attention that dividend. Oh, I got $5,000 in dividends this month. Yes, okay. A dividend, I mean, a total return ETF would do that for you. My goodness. All right, y'all. We coming up on the top of the hour. These shows will always be an hour. I want you to tune in next week. We're going to have a gajillion followers after a while, y'all. If you tune in into this show, go on over and follow the Life Money Balance podcast. Again, you're going to get the weekly show that's going to have most of the recorded educational knowledge in there, feelings and finance and strategy and all that type of stuff. You're going to tune into that. You're going to get that every week. This is the live stream, to be real, segment of the Life Money Balance podcast. And we're going to be doing this every Sunday. I want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify and Apple, leave a comment, a review. All right. So let's spread the word. This is your trusted resource. This is your entertainment resource. It's going to keep getting better and better because we're going to be bringing that hotness. All right. I love y'all. This is why I'm out here doing it. I'm sick as hell. I'm about to drink some more of this Alka-Seltzer, cold and sinus, and hopefully get some sleep. All right, for me and my family. All right, y'all keep it real. Y'all keep it real, and we'll be talking soon. Cheers.